Hi, I'm Michelle Fairley, and I play Catelyn Stark.
Hi, I'm Richard Madden, and I play Robb Stark.
And I'm David Nutter, and I play the director, and I kind of say that literally because as a director you're oftentimes a blind artist with no arms or hands. And this wouldn't be possible, of course, without the tremendous talent behind the camera here. Rob McLaughlin, the director of photography, Mark Taylor, our first AD, who was amazing, Gemma Jackson, the production designer, who built amazing sets that we had, Orlati, the editor, who cut this beautifully and just exquisitely, and of course Chris Newman and Bernie Caulfield, who basically put this all together schedule-wise and organized it beautifully with an amazing crew. And of course David and Dan's tremendous writing and Frank and Carol's support. This is an amazing crew that's put this together, not of course just behind the camera but in front of the camera as well, and very fortunate to be here with the two of you.
God, David Nutter, you've got a great memory. All those wonderful names.
He's
I know.
good. You've not seen it yet, have you, Michelle?
No.
This is your first viewing. How terrifying.
Oh God, I'm sitting here, my fingers and my toes and everything's going.
We should have a camera on Michelle's reaction to the episode, because that's been such a huge deal throughout the world as people reacting to the episode. There's a website out there with over 9 million hits of people reacting to this episode.
9 million?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm terrified. I just couldn't bear to see it yet. And I think it's lovely I'm doing it with you too.
Oh, I feel terrible that we're forcing you to watch it now.
No. Oh.
And this is the culmination of 3 seasons of an amazing story, and here we go. David and Dan wrote an amazing script here. So we start off in Robb Stark's abode.
I love that sigil. Are you sure about this?
No.
This is the first scene we shot together for this sequence.
I remember it.
Yeah, I remember it.
It was done in, is it Banbridge?
No, it was
Yeah.
some parking lot, yeah, in that world, yeah.
Yeah,
It was a parking lot.
yeah.
And this is really the time that you came to your mother and basically said, let's do this together.
Yeah, it was my olive branch, wasn't it?
Yes, it was,
Yeah.
indeed.
Very much so.
So they knew so well that to put you guys as close together as possible before the end was an important part of this story.
Mm-hmm. You look beautiful.
You sure do.
I hate looking at myself.
You're in the minority,
face
Michelle.
No, that face, but that face I could look at all day.
Get out.
Yes.
Get in.
This is just an example of the amazing detail the art department gets involved in with respect to the pieces and the map itself and the detail and the richness of this. It's amazing. In the simplest of sets, quite a powerful imagination involved.
I know, they're so beautiful, those sigils.
Yes, they are.
And I love those map pieces. I kept 2 of them.
Yeah.
One direwolf
Yeah.
and one Lannister lion, which I've got in my apartment.
And that was a great moment with you, Michelle, when you basically tell him to lose the one you love.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a great scene.
And I remember going to lovely Brian, who does the props, and Richard and I both got given 2 of the sigils as a little departing gift, which was so lovely.
What's interesting about this episode, too, is the fact that most of the story took place with the Starks. And this is, of course, the reintroduction of Walder Frey.
Oh, God. The brilliant David Bradley.
Indeed. And Una
And
Chaplin.
Una.
Yes. There's Black Walder and Lothar Frey.
And this is, I like these little details with the bread
Yeah.
and salt. That comes from the books of making sure you eat the bread and salt when you're in someone's house. And it means you're under their protection and they can't harm you. But obviously that got even worse because he's broken that oath back to us.
And what was really so crazy about doing this scene was the fact that David Bradley, Walder Frey, made such a huge impression with Michelle first season in one single episode. And to come back and to reintroduce him and introduce this world was quite a task indeed, but the daughters started to make that very interesting.
There's Tobias. My brother.
This is our Iain, my daughter.
I know, it's so funny because I didn't see any of him in this scene, and it's only when I watch it back that I get to see what he was doing. And
Yeah.
you know, I think he's just great with his little details.
And these women are wonderful extras, and they came along for the ride, and they were great and did some great acting. And I got a chance to kind of choose who goes where and which one's which, and it played out quite wonderfully.
God, I remember that day so clearly. That was the first day of the week, David. Do you
Yes, it
remember that?
was, of our 5-day week.
Yeah.
Yes.
And at that point, we were all pretty calm and rested
Exactly.
Yeah.
and looking forward to the week.
And that space we just changed around, didn't we? It was the
Yes,
same
we did.
space that turned into the feast hall and
And the
was
wedding
used for
hall
lots
as
of
well,
different
yes,
things.
exactly.
And the wedding, yeah.
And it was
They were
River Run as
amazing how
well.
they turned that around. And it was the River Run set too, yeah.
Yeah.
They really flipped that space around and made it totally different.
Gemma's amazing. Gemma Jackson, isn't it? She's just wonderful.
Yeah.
And all her crew and team are fantastic.
All men should keep their word, kings most of all.
And David Bradley's wife is, of course, our stand-in.
Yeah. Oh, she's so lovely.
Yes.
Any man would be looking.
And she played his wife in season 1 as
Yes,
well.
she did. Yes, she did
Yeah.
indeed. Indeed.
And then has been there working every season. And it's so,
Great payoff for her.
Every season,
yeah,
every day.
absolutely. Kelly, that's her name,
Yes.
Kelly.
So the phrase of the crossing and the Starks of Winterfell may once again be friends.
And David Bradley is someone that knows how to chew it better than anybody as far as this
I
character
know.
and the scenery is concerned. It was all about this seduction of his character that was magical. He was just tremendous.
Come closer.
And this, of course, was not in the book. This was something that Dave and Dan wanted to do, is to bring Talisha into the fold and have her come to the wedding, which I think added lots of more strength and power to the ending.
Old eyes.
There's Clive in the background.
Yes.
Did you see? Oh, there's those twisted
Black
sons.
Walder and Lothar
Yeah.
Frey. And Robb McLaughlin, my friend Deep, was the cameraman, the director of photography on this, did a tremendous job.
Mark.
Yeah.
He gave
Yeah.
it the tone.
That's what the Starks of Winterfell call it, eh? Very honourable. I call it a pretty face.
I call it a beautiful face.
Absolutely.
Prettier than this lot, that's for sure.
It's a situation when doing this kind of stuff, you have lots of people, and look at the faces. They were just so wonderfully cast. It's like you're doing a Fellini film as far as the
Yeah.
actors are concerned, the Walter Frey family and his siblings and so forth. He has a great profile, doesn't he?
Oh, he's incredible.
Yes.
Address. Been at this a long time.
And I love Richard's restraint here, of course, because he knows he has to basically sit back and not let this bother him.
And suck it all in.
As Walder eggs him on.
But again, that's Catelyn. That's there that just keeps Robb in his place. I feel just there because she knows better than I do about this man. I think.
You can't look at this without thinking of Michelle and the amazing wardrobe. Look at the detail and the density and I guess the weight too, of course, as you both well know, to make this authentic.
Michelle Clapton,
Yes.
Thank you, my lord.
the team of people she has in Belfast and anywhere else making these costumes they're just the best, actually. And as Richard knows, it's the weight of them as well that keep you grounded
Yes, indeed.
and warm as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
My men use it when they visit Yunkai's bed slaves.
Now we're in Morocco.
I know.
Yeah.
With, of course, the plan to take the city.
Not made love to property.
And we have, of course, Emilia and Iain.
This is where we enter the city. Very few guards. They know me.
Oh, there's Iain McElhenney, isn't that right?
Yes. Yes.
I take your two
Barristan
men
Selmy.
them through the back streets, which I know well, and open the front gate.
And basically here it's a plan how to take the city and his trusting this
The
gentleman.
city will fall in hours.
Or perhaps you lead Grey Worm and me to the slaughter.
cutting the head off our army. The masters...
Ian's got a great voice, doesn't he?
Oh, a great voice.
You hear his voiceover, so many voiceovers in London, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there's Iain Glen.
Because it's great to listen to.
Yes.
Yeah, and also Ian Michael Henney is the same in Ireland as well. Most commercials have his voiceover.
And for the first time, Danny has an interest in someone else in this episode that kind of starts a new budding relationship. Or something to come.
So, Jorah, you can use an extra sword.
You're the Queen's guard, Sir Barristan. Your place is by the Queen.
Was that a big set, David?
It's a huge set of tents and so forth, and this little valley we found in the middle of Ouarzazate, Morocco, where they shoot. You know, they've shot Lawrence of Arabia and huge films. That's the second unit shot they did somewhere, I think, possibly in Iceland, and now we have Gilly and Samwell going through the north, getting to the wall. John Bradley and Hannah Murray. This is in Belfast. This is fake snow.
Yeah.
This section here. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that set. It did such an amazing job. It was like it was winter, but it was sunny out, actually, for a change.
Yes, it was. But really, an amazing duo of actors. Hannah was in the series Skins, a very popular series in England. And, of course, John Bradley is just... He's so fantastic. What a tremendous actor.
He's a delight. He really
I
is
love
a
what he
delight.
did with this part. I really love it.
Yes.
He made it so warm and comical at points, but you're completely with him when things get serious or dangerous. That comic element goes completely, and you're involved in his story utterly.
And then he can be so also so very deep, which is beautiful too.
Yeah.
And now she's holding, of course, we had 2 or 3 real babies plus a beautifully sculpted fake baby that we would utilize in this sequence here. And this is, of course, a green screen of the wall itself. But when she pulls out and shows the baby, this is the real deal that you'll see.
Our father used to tell us that no wildling ever looked upon the wall and lived.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Here we are. Alive.
That's a little baby. Oh, look.
Yes, and here, of course, is Rory McCann, the Hound, and Maisie Arya Stark. One of the problems we had this year in Belfast was they had a lot of sunshine. And this is not a show for sunshine, so we had to kind of shoot around that quite a bit. This is quite a dynamic duo, and you'll see in this episode, and of course episode 10, how they forge into this new bond.
It's a lovely relationship. It's one that's just developed beautifully, hasn't it?
Yes, it is.
Need a hand.
Need about 8 hands.
Oh, Rory.
Get this salt home to the twins in time for the wedding.
A real hard man you are.
And Maisie's just mad. She's just so tremendous. She goes right back at the Hound and tells him what it's all about and gets very right in his face.
Like a kitten to him.
Every season, every episode, Maisie progresses further and develops. I love watching how she changes and moves forward. I think she's outstanding.
So true.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's lovely, that relationship of those two, you know, even it's difference in age, male, female, the meeting of those two, the way they can help each other. And
this is a funny bit here, too, coming up. She just jumped on this.
there goes respect.
And here we go. Here's our group going to the north.
Oh,
Of course,
there's the
Isaac
boys.
leading the way, yes.
There's Art
And Isaac. And this is Ellie Kendrick, who plays Mira Reed. And, of course, Thomas Sangston, who does Jojen Reed. And Christian Hodar. And Natalia Tana, of course, is Osha.
Yeah.
What a band of merry men this group is.
What a great bunch, yeah. How was it to film with that lot, David? Was it quite good fun?
Fantastic, fantastic. You know,
I bet.
Natalia's quite a successful pop singer
Yeah.
Yeah.
and rock star, of course. And Art here, young Recon, he was pretty much came in as an extra.
Yeah.
And he what a tremendous actor. He kind of really shows his stuff in this episode, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that was a real tower we found, and we kind of built around it, which was very, very interesting.
We can drink some blood while we wait. I don't need much.
I remember bumping into Natalia and Ellie on the last day of filming.
Yes.
On season 3, and we were still shooting, and they were walking down the street really, really happy, and Natalia came running up to me and went, "I didn't get a goodbye present. That means I'm coming back." She was so happy.
Not today, they don't.
Here we are with Jon Snow and Ygritte, of course.
He's got some gold in there.
We're also here with Mackenzie Cook and Kristoff Hivju Tormund. Of course, Orell and Tormund.
Richard, did you meet any of these guys? I met
No, I met Mackenzie.
Mackenzie at the read-through, but
Yes.
any of the new band, that was it.
No, I mean, that's the thing.
Christopher's like a demonic Santa Claus, isn't he? What an amazing presence this guy has. He is
Absolutely.
tremendous.
Amazing face.
Yes.
He looks so...
Formidable.
Yeah.
Very much so.
It's almost like, it's like sort of a Charles Dance-ish look as well,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
very much so. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Strong features.
Yeah, very strong.
This was interesting here because Kid had broken his ankle, so we had to kind of shoot around
right.
Kid here. Kid had like a horse double, a running double, a photo double, and a stunt double. There he is
The
there.
running Is that the running double?
That was him, actually. That was him, actually. And this is them now
great.
going to the farm. We had a big crane shot here that looked pretty good.
I love this whole sequence.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
The horse
beautiful
comes up, yes. And of course, the older man comes out. They want to steal the horses so they can get further. And this location was right at the same location where you just saw Maisie and the Hound.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
They are in the Hound.
Was it around the same time? You can with the
Yes,
weather and
yes,
stuff,
exactly.
must
Right
have
around the little sun you see backlight there for sure.
Mhm.
The 5 days of sun you had in Ireland that that week.
Yeah, exactly right for sure.
That year.
been. It's the summer in Ireland.
And this is really a great scene with Arya basically seeing her mother and brother, the castles, the camp, the twins. She's so very close, but yet so far. Such wonderful depth. And Roy's eating his pig's feet, of course. We put a little chicken in there because he wasn't quite ready to eat the raw pig's feet. I understand. What a great actor. I had him ask about the feet and he just went with it.
Don't worry, they're
He's
still
a
there.
fabulous person, Rory.
Yes.
I know they're still there.
You check every 5 minutes like you're afraid they're going to move.
I'm not afraid.
Of course you are. You're almost there.
Rory's sister, Sally, works in the costume department and just had a baby to Brian Props. There's a little bit of trivia for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when I see
And do you know if they had a boy or a
a
girl?
lot.
Well, knowing Brian, it'll be a tomboy if it's a girl, that's for sure. He'll get her out there to do stuff.
He'll have it out playing golf.
Yes.
Up in flames, you look like a scared little girl.
And of course, Rory looks nothing like this. He's an extremely handsome man, but he has to put that the Burns of the Hound on every day he shoots, which is
A long time.
quite an investment. Yes.
And that's Paul in makeup who did that, isn't it? Paul, the makeup designer.
Yes. Yes.
I'll give you some ideas.
I remember when we first started shooting with Rory, and when, you know, getting warmed up and ready to put all the prosthetics on, you know, it takes a while to get the practice to get it good, and it was hours and hours. I remember him being picked up kind of 4 or 5 hours before the other actors to get into the chair and sit there for all that amount of time before he even got into started doing costume and stuff like that. So it was a huge effort for him. On top of his day, he had hours of that, of sitting very still.
No,
Difficult.
of course, that's not his hair either, so he's got to
No.
go in to see Kevin Alexander and get that sorted out too.
And you see a little bit of Arya's heart here, which is just wonderful.
She just wants to run over.
Yes. So now we're in this tower, of course. This is on set. This is on stage. This interior, of course.
How are we going to get past the wall? My uncle said it's
Cramped little
700
set, but
feet high.
they did a tremendous job with it. And Christian Hodor doesn't like thunder, that's for sure.
No.
Got in a boat and rowed past the Bay of Seals.
Take us 2 months to get to the Bay of Seals.
I get fascinated with Bran and his abilities and potentials, and you know, you just get these little pieces now and again of what his potential is, of what he can do.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Isaac is such an amazing. He's such a formidable young actor that he's going to really. He's going to become a wonderful, even better.
We'll have to open them up again.
And Thomas, of course,
I loved working with him.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And this is, of course, we had on a big crane looking out to the location of where the tower was. And this is, of course, artificial rain. We needed to have rain for 3 days of shooting, so to have that constant, we had a big water tower, and it was quite an experience.
Wildlings.
And, of course, Osha's a wildling.
Oh. Well done.
Bran stepping to the other side, finding out what his abilities are all about.
Natalia's got a brilliant face, hasn't she? She's
so committed.
Alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And Thomas, of course, Sangster's a tremendous actor. He came to recognition, of course, in the film Love Actually.
What's that?
Years ago.
That's a horse dying.
It's incredible watching Isaac and Art and Maisie and Sophie from season 1 to season 3, just the way their faces have
their growth, exactly.
changed.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary.
This was interesting. Mackenzie, we did shot this for like 2.5 days, and he said this is the worst condition he's ever shot in his life. That huge heavy outfit and the terrible rain and the cold. He was shaking. Oh my God,
Miserable.
that was something. He was totally miserable.
Oh.
That won't help you, Grandpa.
And Christopher's just got a great voice. Grandpa.
Where are you riding?
It always makes me laugh. Everyone is so tough on camera, and as if it
Yes.
doesn't matter. And as soon as you say
Yeah.
cut, it's like blankets, hand warmers, someone
Yes,
drying
exactly.
my hair. All these tough men throw down their swords and have a seat because their armor's too heavy.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Very funny, makes me laugh.
And they let ladies take it all off them.
Yeah.
Indeed. There's, of course, a CG of our hounds.
Make the crow kill him. You're one of us now. Prove it.
I love the subtle colour changes from venue to venue. You know, the way
Yes,
it's just
the
the way you
warmth, the
light it.
blues. Yes, yes.
I can't do it by choice. I don't know how. It happens in my dreams.
You're a warg, Bran. It's in your blood.
What's also amazing for me as a director is getting a chance to work with actors who know what they're doing and have their lines down and are such seasoned professionals, and even the young ones know what they're all about and so forth, and it just makes what I do just so much easier.
She looks sharp.
Yeah, this was definitely some serious fake rain going on here.
It looks great, actually.
Yes,
I
it
remember
does.
Sean,
Yeah. Yes.
the cameraman, saying after they had shot the sequence that it was literally days and days and days of just being soaking wet.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realise as well, in order for rain to show up as well as it does on camera, there
Yeah,
needs
a lot
to
of
be
it.
really pouring
Heavy.
down.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's much heavier when you're there than it even looks, and it looks heavy.
He'll always be
Yes.
a crow. And here's his crow wife guarding him.
So Kit did some great sword fighting here, even with his ankle. And they went at it. The intensity in everyone is just so tremendous. And the West come to save the day.
You were right the whole time.
Oh,
now,
that's
of course,
brilliant, David.
another coming right down to Jon Snow. That was a lot of the trailers that shot was. That's an amazing hawk we had.
I think you did amazing work with this sequence, David.
Yeah.
It's just so dynamic and exciting, and I'm right in it.
And off he goes. And will they ever get back together, Ygritte and Jon Snow? Not at this point, it sure doesn't look like. What a great actress she is. This is all basically a wonderful CG shot built for this opening sequence of the night raid on the town.
Bird's whistle, you come. I'm a great whistler. Greatest in the land.
And this is basically Dave Foreman and C.C. Smith, who's of course our sword master on the series, doing an amazing job with a lot of the local Moroccan crew, and of course also people we brought down from Belfast and London as far as stunt people are concerned. And this sequence turned out very, very well. Iain was swinging his sword away. There was no stand-ins or no stunt doubles for these three. They did a tremendous job.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Did they get a lot of time to rehearse it?
Yes, well, they took a lot of time to rehearse it, which was so very important. They spent days out on this clay court in Morocco at the hotel. They spent in the middle of the hot 100+ sun to rehearse all this, and they went at it.
Yeah.
And for me, it was about just getting as much coverage and pieces as possible and organizing it out, and they did a great job. Battle turned out beautifully, and C.C. Smith organized 90% of this, and with Dave Foreman, and it just
it's great, CC, because
best.
you go in sometimes and you if you're shooting in the studio and you walk past a set and you'll hear 1, 2, 3, and you go in and he's got them rehearsing and rehearsing and rehearsing these sequences for days and days and weeks.
Yes.
So that they're so safe and secure when they're doing it.
Oh yeah.
And it also helps because you spend that much time doing it and rehearsing it, then you can get on set and act without having to think, now I need to move my foot here,
So
my
true.
sword there, I need to watch that. So,
So
you can do your job better because that's all nailed down.
Absolutely.
How long did that take to shoot, David?
We had to shoot that in one night, that sequence.
One night?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It was quite
That's
an evening.
fantastic.
And this is basically, that's all CG world in the background, and this is our foreground we created. This is the evening of the wedding, where the Starks are with the phrase and the wedding has begun. And this is it starting, of course.
Wow, it looks so good.
Yeah, this to me was very much like, almost I felt like a football coach kind of organizing where everyone goes and the positions of everyone. And it was very important here for Catelyn.
That's the same set.
Yes, it was, yes.
The one we started off in.
And then Catelyn, of course, blesses her brother Edmure to you're doing the right thing. And then Roose Bolton, of course, is here for the wedding as well.
I remember this quite specifically because it's the first time I had a different costume since the pilot.
Oh my God.
I'd worn the same costume for years.
It was a little too fresh,
nice
yes?
new cloak. Yes.
Same here, Richard. I think I got a cloak change, and that was about it.
Yeah, and I was so excited for it.
And this was a lot of fun, basically the unveiling of this daughter that everyone thinks is going to be in one fashion, one way. But of course, when Edmure sees her, he sees something he doesn't expect, an angel.
Like a little beauty.
Lord Edmure.
And the background actors are so tremendous, they're so committed, and it's just, to do this kind of stuff, you have to have everyone sing the same song. It just turned out beautifully.
You're a delight to me, my lady.
I'm sure he is.
And of course, their ceremony, of course, is not unlike the procedure that, of course, Robb and Talicia went through on their own. The connection, and I have David Bradley looking at you saying, "See, you look what you missed."
But Robb's got Talicia, so
exactly. It's all coming to a head. How good it is. That was a great thing about how this was all put together. It's just so many I's dotted and T's crossed, and a real wonderful setting of things are going to be okay. That I think was a wonderful build-up to this episode that I think made it so much more powerful. A perfect edit by Oral there, bringing in on that. And there's, of course, Blackfish looking back at what he has to offer him. He turns away. That was a fun getting a chance to shoot the daughters there looking at him. They had fun. And this, of course, now we're back in the windmill at night. Very low light. Robb McLaughlin shot this beautifully with a candle. And what is our next step going to be in this adventure that we're going on? And Bran makes a very tough decision.
You did a lot more than that. You got inside Hodor's mind.
I can't do that north of the wall.
No one can do that. Anyway.
What I love so much about this scene, of course, is the comeuppance of Art. Young Recon, who again started as an extra, but watch this scene, how he handles himself. He's going to be quite the actor someday, as he already is now.
I'm so happy to see him playing now, because he's had quite a silent role so far.
Yes, yes.
And he's wonderful.
You saw what I did to Hodor. I have to find the three-eyed raven. Listen to me, little Lord. Don't worry. I'm not asking you to come with me. It won't be safe for Rickon.
Me? I'm coming with you.
No. You and Osher and Shaggy Dog head for the last hearth.
I told Isaac in this scene, Richard, that he needs to be you in this scene. You need to be the big brother now. You need to look out for young Recon, and he understood exactly what I was talking about, having had you to watch and to learn from, which I think was wonderful.
Going beyond the wall. If something happens to us, you're the heir.
There's so much of that that's filtered through all of this, from me trying to be like Ned, to Bran trying to be like Robb, to Rickon trying to be like Bran.
And how all of you having the spine of your mother and strength of her as well interlaced within you.
It's the only way we can get through it.
Yes.
You and me.
And things like this are also emotional for the actors, because these young actors have all grown up together on this show and been very good friends, and doing a scene like this is also saying goodbyes in lots of ways, because they'll not have scenes together again, and thus they'll not see each other again very often. So I think there's lots of kind of parallels between what's happening on screen and what's going on off screen in real life too. They're all very close, these guys.
Yeah, they're very close, and their mothers are very close as well.
You're leaving now. It's the middle of the
Nothing's a better example of that, I think, than what we're going to be coming up to in the next few scenes, as far as the connection of cast, crew, and everyone involved.
Keep this one safe.
And a great score.
Oh,
Robin's score here is just so sensitive and wonderful, and reaching such depths. Here we are now back in Morocco, and of course, Daenerys is nervous. Did they make it?
We've been waiting a long time. Haven't we? Well, I don't know. You tell me. How long does it take to sack a city?
This is on stage, actually. We shot this. Beautifully lit.
In Belfast?
In Morocco.
Morocco.
They did not believe until it was too late.
Iain was so fantastic here, knowing that he did this, and then, of course, when he sees Daenerys is interested in something else or someone else, his reaction to that is great.
No, it's heartbreaking, actually.
Yes, it is. Now, the drummer in the middle is William Campbell from Coldplay.
That's right.
Great. He came, he wanted to be involved in this feast, which is wonderful.
He was such a nice guy, too.
Yes, he was.
Richard?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And he was there for a lot of it, which was great. And this is Gemma Jackson's beautiful set. Mark Taylor, the first AD who I'd worked with on several episodes, putting everything together, and the people in the background, and and Robb McLaughlin shooting the hell out of it. This is great. This is kind of a little opening piece where I kind of wanted to introduce Robb and Talicia, and of course introduce Catelyn and Blackfish and Roose Bolton all together as well.
He complained about this marriage the entire ride from River Run. And now look at it.
The gods love to reward.
And I think how we shot this was not unlike how it was actually filmed. You know, we got a chance to kind of do the opening beat of this and kind of delve into the rest of the world, which worked out
totally
beautifully.
in sequence.
Yes, very much so.
All in sequence.
Yes.
Drink, Lord Bolton.
Never do, my lady. Dulls the senses.
That's the point. Didn't you marry one of these fragrant?
He had such fun sitting beside Clive.
Oh, yes,
I know I
yes.
should say this. Richard was on one table and I was on the other. And he's such a funny guy, Clive. And when we were at the wedding ceremony as well, I stood beside him. And he just keeps you going. He's so funny.
Yes, he is.
And I know it's all very serious. You have to concentrate. And you do when you have to. But in those nice breakaway moments, it's fun.
Yes, very much so.
Remember throwing food at me, Richard? Those.
We spent a lot of time between setups having silent food fights.
Yeah, pretending
it wasn't us.
Yeah.
Exactly. And of course, as you always notice, Walter Frey always has something else going on in his mind.
Striking your king is an act of treason.
But I thought this was great, Richard, with you and Una have some nice, personal, really intimate moments here before the end of the episode that really helped tie you guys even closer and tighter together, which was great.
Your Grace.
Yeah. Very much so.
I enjoyed having those moments because we didn't have a lot of time to actually build up the relationship on screen between the two of them for an audience to be involved enough with them.
Look at that shot there. Look at the people
It looks
involved.
amazing.
Just amazing. Just amazing.
The lighting,
beautiful. Yes.
candlelight, everything looks beautiful.
They are not yet man and wife. A sword needs a sheath.
And Michelle knows exactly what they're talking about there.
No, I don't, David.
The look on your face was great. But the look on your face is like, oh my God. But check out this background. The background
is great. What does that line mean?
The supporting artists were excellent throughout
tremendous.
the whole sequence. I really think they were wonderful.
And it was great too that we got in and get a chance to at least rehearse the movements of this before we got in the shoot.
Yes.
It helped I think everyone know where we're headed. There's the William Campbell there from Coldplay.
Yeah.
And the betting, of course, the men take her away and the women take Edmure away. We lifted her right up. We had.
And it's quite violent. I quite like that we're quite used to the violence of it, but someone like Talicia isn't, and hopefully maybe someone like in the audience who's watching is in the same of going, "What? This is quite violent. They're stripping them naked and carrying them through." You know, it's.
And of course, what we have here is Robb McLaughlin has a great setup where he's basically having the people who are involved in this betting. They basically are taking their candles away, taking this. They kind of and the room becomes a little different lighting setup.
Taking the light out.
And then you can remember Ned Stark in this moment, which is great.
I know you endured yours with grace.
Oh, Ned forbade it. He said it wouldn't be right if he broke a man's jaw on our wedding night.
And now, of course, the camera's pointed the other direction in the scene, looking back to off of this, now back to this direction, which gives us a different tone as well. Bringing Ned back into the fold, I think, was, again, another brilliant writing technique here with David and Dan.
Yeah.
It does break my heart still.
Yes.
I know.
And then it comes up here, which is a great shot coming up here, of course, Catelyn, how happy it is to see them together, which played beautifully here. And of course, Black-Walder walks past her.
Oh, this is horrible.
And the doors slam. And all the innocent bystanders are gone.
Yeah. Oh, I love this music.
The Rains of Castamere. And now Wagner begins.
That music was just so brilliant because the way he structured it, it
Yes.
literally was. It felt like there's a change here,
Yes, very much so.
and it just felt like somebody walked over your grave. It
Yes.
sent a chill through
And that's
you.
Grey Wind, yes?
Yes, and
Yes,
Grey
Grey
Wind
Wind's
knows, he
yes,
senses it.
yes, he senses something wrong.
Yeah.
And that's a CG extend on a castle that we built. And of course now the Hound and Maisie, or of course Arya, are coming to
Into
the twins, exactly,
camp.
to try to get closer. Just the detail and the depth of all the activity was just tremendous.
Where are you going?
Got salt pork for the feast.
The feast is over.
Doesn't sound like it's over.
If I tell you it's over,
Arya sees the Frey guards going inside.
turn this cart around and get the hell out of here.
Got pig's feet too.
But again, to Orlati, the editor here, was just brilliant in his putting together the pieces of this puzzle, that each shot kind of takes you to the next level of where it's all headed. It was just beautifully done.
Because it's a lovely gradual build.
Yes, very much so.
It's not forcing anything.
Not at all.
I feel I've been remiss in my duties. I've given you meat and wine and music, but I haven't shown you the hospitality you deserve.
Or you just break my heart, Michelle.
Yes.
My king has married, and I owe my new queen a wedding gift.
Oh, this is the realization that he's
The medal in his
set
arm.
up.
Yes. Lothar Frey follows his duty.
Oh.
Okay.
That is it. Oh God.
Rob. It was amazing. They just started to kill them all.
Oh God.
I love the multiple arrows in you, Richard. It was just made it so great.
It's just so quick.
Yes.
I know, it's brilliant, David. Suddenly it's just slaughter.
Yes.
Yeah. And these guys were great with all of this. It was so detailed and violent and choreographed.
They worked so hard. It
They
was
were
fantastic.
amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Now we're inside the twins. Arya's kind of basically slipped inside. And this is the mouth of basically where the den is, where the feast is going on, where the slaughter is happening.
She's so close.
Her Stark men she sees eating, and then the Freys take them out. And through her eyes you see the death of the family.
And yet at the same time that instinct for survival.
Yes, very
Knowing-
much so.
Yeah.
She hears Grey Wind trying to
Yeah.
get out of the pen, the horse stable. She gets closer, she wants to get closer. There's Grey Wind, she sees Grey Wind for the first time in a very long time. These are Frey guards coming up to Grey Wind to kill it. And this is a great moment here where I had Arya looking and seeing Grey Wind's face, and their eyes in some sense connecting. That I thought just worked out great. Now she's got to go inside. She has no other choice.
It's too late.
But the Hound saves her.
Yeah.
In this next sequence, Richard and Michelle, I have to say I've never been a part of anything with such tremendous performances as you, both of yours here. It was just unbelievable. Look at this.
I find it very difficult to watch.
I can't look at it.
And seeing your wife there with your unborn son, my God. And he relishes in it, doesn't he?
The king in the north arises.
You were, the power here was just palpable.
Oh, Richard, look at
Michelle fighting to the bitter end, Michelle.
To the end.
Lord Walder! Lord Walder, enough! Let it end! Please. He is my son.
Oh.
My first son. Let him go, and I swear we will forget.
And how it all laid out here was
I
just
swear it by the old
perfect.
gods and you. We will take no vengeance.
You already swore me one oath right here in my castle. You swore by all the gods your son would marry my daughter!
Take me for a hostage, but let Robb go. Robb, get up. Get up and walk out. Please.
There's really nothing to say here.
And why would I let him do that?
On my honor as a Tullich, on my honor as a Stark, let him go, or I will cut your wife's throat. Oh, this broke my heart, Richard.
I'll find another.
Robb knows now.
Mother. The Lannisters send their regards.
Two of the most amazing deaths ever recorded, I think. You guys were just unbelievable. It was just so powerful. So, Michelle, that's your first time viewing, yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now the audience can get a sense of how it affected you for the first time, too, which is very interesting and powerful.
It's incredible. It just brings back so many memories.
It's so difficult to watch.
You guys gave your heart and soul to this series for 3 seasons, and I think this lives up to that.
Richard, you were brilliant, darling.
You too, Michelle. Well done.
I can't speak. I've sort of got hysterical. I've got giggles instead of tears. It's weird.
There's just so much tied in between, you know, when we first worked together, David, and when me and Michelle first worked together, and the characters and the story that you're so invested in. It's really emotional.
Yeah, it's very powerful. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And thank you, Richard and Michelle, for being involved.
Thank you, everyone, for watching so much. And thank you, David, for being amazing constantly.
Thank you.
And you, Michelle.
David Nutter, you guided us brilliantly through that week. And it's one week I will never forget.
Nor
and Richard, I love you to pieces.
I love you too, Michelle.